Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to some more friction testing. I thought I would revisit that whole wishy-washy, bouncy-wouncy gravity one. And we've got one of every coaster set up, in order, except for the Dragon. I laid the Dragon down first because I know that the junior coasters have that, the track can't go quite as steep, so that's my measure. One of the first things I noticed was that some of these tracks actually have different build characteristics. Most of them are pretty much the same, but where are we? That's a junior. Where are we? Here we are. This guy here. One of the Giga Coasters. Actually, two of the Giga Coasters actually have a slightly different... when you get to the bottom, they won't do quite such a sharp curve back up again. I found that kind of interesting. Anyway, so these are all queued up and ready to test. So let's just go ahead and test them. And away they go. They're all being launched at the default speed, and they're all carrying the default number of cars. It's actually very difficult to see this. That's a good view. That's a pretty good angle. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. So this guy's finished. This guy's now finished. Who's that? Okay. This guy's done. The Wendigo. Okay, yeah, the two junior coasters were a given. The spinny coaster, we knew that was gonna be a weird one too. Remember, these are in order, except for the Dragon. Well, okay then. That's interesting. The weight of the roller coaster car plus the number of cars itself should definitely be affecting how quickly they slow down. So what I'm going to do now is reset all these and use the minimum number of cars, which means... Okay, so same deal as before. Being launched at default speed, which I think is 9 miles per hour or 9 kilometers per hour. Well, let's just say 9. And that's it. Nothing else. They are all set to... Wait a minute. Yep, they are all set to the minimum number of cars for their type. Because, some will go down to 1 car and some will only go down to 3 cars and, whatever. So let's play this and we'll see which one stopped first. Hopefully we won't get the same hilarious result that we got with the last time I did this with the flying coaster. That was pretty spectacular. Nothing too suspect so far. Okay, so he stopped and he stopped. Has he stopped yet? Okay, nope, those two. Okie dokie. Well, I kind of expected the wooden coaster to stop first. Since that one's going to probably have the worst amount of friction on it. I got another one here. This should be another one of the woody types. Yep. And there's his friend. Oh no, that's the arrow. Okay. Right, that's that. Okay. It's interesting. It's better than it was, I gotta say. Last time I did this was in alpha. I was gonna do it in beta, but for, you know, a 1 week release, or, well, in my case it was a couple of weeks because I had early access, it didn't seem worth it. But one thing we have to remember is the weight of the car and the number of wheels on the car will definitely have, well, should definitely be having an impact on the amount of friction that's being exerted and the amount of energy that's being lost. So there is that. Well, okay, that's all very well and good. Now, what about track types? What if we... I've touched on this before in a previous video. Is there a difference between using banked track versus flat track? I mean, is it going to affect the amount of friction that the car is experiencing? I.e., how accurate is the simulation on these? And after a very quick bit of construction and some blueprinting, I have this. Very, very, very simple. Okay, so now, if this is being modeled properly, this one should technically run longer than this one, right? This is the banked one, obviously. Sorry. The one on the left is the banked track. The one on the right is the flat track. Now, apart from exerting a force on the guests inside the car, it also should be exerting a force upon the car. And the bank track should be pushing more of the mass onto the main coaster wheels, whereas this one is pushing more of the mass onto the secondary wheels on the side, which are not designed to be, you know, used quite so much. Anyway, so let's just play and see what happens. Now this one I banked and then I smoothed out the beginning and the end of the banking just so there's a nice transition. Now this is going to take a minute. Let's speed this up a little bit. Right. Well, I think that's a pretty definitive answer. Banking your track actually has no difference upon the car's performance around your track. The only difference it's going to make is to your guests, which is a little bit of a shame. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And this is still, you know, this is the first, what is this, the first release? Actual release candidate. So this could potentially change in the future, although I don't know if they would, because that would really screw up a lot of people's parks. If you suddenly put like real physics into the roller coaster engines, I think that would probably screw up a lot of people's parks that they've already been, you know, putting a lot of blood, sweat and tears into. That would actually really suck for some of my stuff too. But yeah, okay. Well, that answers that question. Yeah, adding banking and stuff to your track doesn't change the performance of the car around the track. It just changes how the guests feel about the ride. And that's that. I hope this has been relatively helpful. Possibly not. But until next time, I will see you anon.